Still 25. Oh! Vaporized again. But again, whether it was intended or not, maybe working for Raijin is helpful and is healthy for a mob in some meaningful way. Hello friends, my name is Benoit Kim, a UPenn educated licensed psychotherapist and your favorite yapper. Welcome to my first episode of Mob Psycho 100. I've heard countlessly good things about the show for many years, and I'm glad that the series won the poll recently that allowed us to be here. What a fateful moment. And also, Avatar The Last Airbender will be the default next series alongside 86 when the Apothecary Diary Season 2 and Your Lie in April come to an end. Athathan Agent Zero, Helixy, and Jin Ichimaru are the founding sponsored tier of my videos. Thank you so much. Shout out to all the YouTube family and Patreon folks out there. Sit back and I hope you enjoy. And as always, I'm going to the series blind and I have no idea what the show's about except I think a boy with psychic power. That's the extent of my knowledge. All right, here we go. Oh. Are those ghosts, spirits, ESP, psychic power? What are these? Whoa. What the? Who this? What is that? What was that, a countdown? What are those? Monsters? Whoa! What was that? So far, this is giving me some flavors of One Punch Man. Very outlandish, extremely over the top. I love it. Absolutely love it. Jeez. 2021, 22, what is that? Oh, Mob Psycho 100. So is that a countdown or count up? And then when he reaches 100, which is the title, Mob Psycho 100, he's like maxed out. Again, if you're new to my show, hey, welcome. I am the king of theories, king of overanalysis, and king of overthinking. So I love making predictions, speaking on conjecture. And of course, I'm very good at being right, but also equally good at being very wrong. That's half of the fun for me with these reactions and analysis. Anywho. Another vaporization. My goodness. Oh, I'm excited for this show. I'm anticipating a lot of actions. Straight up melted, dissipated. Oh, percentage. Yep, it's definitely percentage. Oh! Mob Psycho 100. Wow. So is the entire show about the MC, the boy, suppressing his psychic power so he doesn't reach 100? Because when he reaches level 100, it's like the Doom's World. So it's kind of like One Punch Man, but One Punch Man doesn't purposely suppress his power. He just doesn't have strong enough opponents to activate and unlock his power. So it's more of a boredom. But here, maybe it's more of an active suppression because his level 100 psychic power unleashing is a threat to the humanity and the reality itself. Anyways, just some, making some fun conjectures. Okay. Spirituality, supernatural, paranormal stuff. They're helplessly thrown into the abyss of fear. That's extremely psychologically relevant. Do you guys know what the primary emotion all humans are born with? In fact, all creatures, all animals, mammals, insects, animal kingdom, Homo sapiens, humans, anything in between. The first emotions that all animals and species are equipped with and born with, the primary emotion of all humans are fear. Without fear, no species will survive. Without fear, no evolution will take place. Because Fearlessness or absence of fear will lead to hypomanic episodes and hypomanic behaviors, not slowing down, being more reckless, more impulsive. Without speed limit, everyone would speed. That will lead to reckless driving, car accidents, death, fatalities, etc., etc. But of course, nowadays, in the modern context, in year 2026, there are no more saber-toothed tigers and mammoth and dinosaurs around the corner waiting to eat us. We're no longer living in this predator-prey in terms of primitive, primordial stage. We are no longer primitive. At the same time, anxiety is the manifestation of fear to a lesser degree. Not everything's life and death, like what our ancestors had to deal with in the Homo sapiens era, but still, anxiety of paying bills, what school to go to, the next paycheck, the relationships, family, attachment struggle. Anxiety in that sense, it's not a bug. Anxiety is a feature of our brain out of our evolutionary needs. In other words, anxiety is a feature of evolutionary biology and evolutionary psychology. Without fear, which is anxiety, we will not survive. That's what they're saying. And the one thing that summons, the one thing that activates fear for everyone is the unknown, the uncertainty. That's the fear that the opening sequence is talking about. Again, if you're new to my channel, welcome to one of the most meaningful yapping sessions you will witness, and I hope you enjoy your stay. If you're not new, welcome back. Here we go, right? Okay. Psychics. Very straightforward. And I love the world setting. So now we are entering a world where psychics are recognized, are widely recognized by the society in itself. Okay. What category, what genre does that qualify this show as? Mob Psycho 100? Just fantasy? Psychological thriller? Shonen? Reagan? Okay. He has like a main character aura. Is he one of the main characters? Which exorcism? Oh, he's an exorcist. Is he one of the psychics? And the fact that the show is starting out with him, he has that main character MC vibe. But I guess he offers courses. What is this? Michelin star exorcism course? Course 1 to course 5. I'm guessing the more you pay, the more effective exorcism he will perform. Okay. Hold up. He's also kind of giving up like a con artist scammer vibe a little bit, low key. He said that the spirits are kind of like carbon dioxide. You cannot get rid of them completely. And then he follows that by saying that, well, if they come up again, if the spirits reappear, I'll give you additional 20% discount. AKA, hey, come back for recurring business. This is a profit-driven model that he's offering with his exorcism courses. So there's two possibilities. Possibility 1, he's a fraud and he's not an exorcist and he does not have the power that he says he does. Level 2, maybe that is the true, insidious, and actual nature of the spirits themselves in this world setting. And maybe it is difficult to have a successful exorcism or to exorcise spirits in one go. Or I guess potential level 3, he's not as good as he says he is and he's like a level 1 exorcist, just like his courses, and maybe he's just incompetent. He's not good at what he does. But to me, have some scammer vibe. He's seemingly very charismatic, very confident. When he was typing the keyboard with his computer, he wasn't even looking at the screen. He was side glaring and looking at the customer. We call that micro expression, definition right here. Micro expression, absorbing the expressions on a micro level, which is a technique a lot of behavioral analysis unit, BAU, or forensic psychotherapists and psychologists like myself did in my previous job, because now I started a private practice, so I'm working as a full-time clinician. Anyway, based on all these clues, behavioral cues, micro expressions, and some of the trails I've picked up on. Those are some of my impressions of this Reijin person. Reijin? Where did his come from?
いかにもうさんくさいぞ。花子、考え直した方がいいぜ。うさんくさいだと。まあそうなるよな。彼女じゃなくて。
Oh, this is very good. Reijin is redirecting, deflecting, and misdirecting what the boyfriend Taro is saying back to, oh, so you're saying that your girlfriend's concerns and stress and nightmares are invalid? Oh, so you're saying that what she's saying doesn't matter. Oh, so what you're saying is you don't believe what your girlfriend's saying. You don't believe why we are here. He's deflecting. Reijin is deflecting emotionally and redirecting psychologically. The more he talks, the more I think he's a fraud, right? These are some of the techniques that a lot of scammers and fraud and con artists might do because they don't have anything of substance, actual things to offer. So everything they do is very tactical. Or again, I could be misreading him entirely. We shall see. Yeah. Hanako and Taro, run. Go the other direction. Leave where you came in from. Departure immediately. What? Bro, she just caught a stray. She just caught this just from sitting there. The Taro's like, the boyfriend's like, there's nothing wrong with her face. Her face, her face and her facial features are not a byproduct or a symptom of this haunted spirit. That's just who she is. Oh my gosh. Look at his oozing confidence. I bet it's the wrong building. It's the wrong building. It's just wrong building. Bro, this Reijin, here's my prediction. He's a fraud. Look at him sweating bullets. So what the girlfriend is exhibiting, what she's displaying, we call that cognitive biases. Definition right here. Cognitive biases. So obviously every single person, all of us have biases, right? Black and white thinking, right? Catastrophizing, jumping to conclusions, thinking about the worst possible outcome, etc., etc. There's hundreds of potential biases all humans are prone to. But the fact is, every single one of us have biases. And here, more specifically, what the girlfriend is demonstrating is confirmation bias. Definition right here. Confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is actually one of the 25 most commonly seen biases. Confirmation bias means we enter a research or we begin a new information gathering, right? Updating your knowledge bank, etc. We are approaching certain things or certain information with already a confirmed belief. And we are so biased, we cannot see things as clearly for what they are. In other words, confirmation bias means despite contrary evidence, despite what the empirical evidence may be, we are so convicted, we're so certain about this thing based on our confirmation and our influence. So everything we seek out is going to confirm and verify what we already believe. Not empirically, not factually, but based on our feelings and based on our thoughts. And as I talk about in all my series, most of our thoughts are distorted. Most of the thoughts are not true. If you Google this right now, take a pause, fact check me. It's a pretty wide range of number, but on average, the research should suggest that humans on average, we have anywhere between 6,000 distinct thoughts to about 70,000 repetitions and automatic thoughts. Since we have similar thoughts over and over again, repetition. So, but even if we go with the most conservative figure of 6,000 thoughts, When's the last time you saw 6,000 people in one setting? Maybe a concert, maybe a stadium, but it's rare. 6,000 people is a lot of people. Now imagine 6,000 thoughts. From the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep. 6,000 thoughts. What do you think will happen to us and our well-being, our mental health, if we were to believe in all 6,000 thoughts? That will eventually lead to depression, helplessness, feeling stuck. This is a really simple example, but just to prove a point. Right now, at this time, I'm craving oxtail bone broth, Korean goptang or kukbap, which is a Korean oxtail broth, like a soul food for dinner. But maybe after my recording, I'm craving like a really, really good Detroit style, grandma style pizza. They're both my thoughts, but I don't have to marry and feed that thought. I don't have to commit to that thought. Thoughts come and go. We change our thoughts. We change our feelings. We cannot view our thoughts as unchanging, permanent reality. And that is the impermanence that Buddhism subscribes to, right? I'm a Christian. I'm a practicing Christian, but I subscribe to a lot of philosophies like Buddhism, like Stoicism, etc., etc. But here, with the girlfriend, bring it all back. I apologize for my detour yapping. Bring it all back. The girlfriend is demonstrating confirmation bias. That's why no matter so many loopholes in what Regents is saying, there's so many loopholes. He pointed at the wrong building. He's just literally making shit up as he goes. He's like, oh, that makes sense. There's so many evil spirits. Confirmation bias. It's no longer about evidence or facts or proof. It's more about confirming what we already believe by putting into that box. The butt chin goblin. Guys, I already love this show already, right? As you guys know, I just wrapped up Your Lie in April and Horimiya, and I'm still recording 86. And man, they've been so intense emotionally and psychologically. So I'm really very much looking forward to like a more lighthearted switch it up with Mob Psycho 100. Big fan already. He at first gave his girlfriend a non-existent haunted curse of her face. But that wasn't a curse. That's just her genetics. Shout out to her parents. And now she's just saying that a random dude, a random innocent pedestrian walking past them, a bypasser, saying that he's haunted by an evil spirit because he has a butt chin. And he called him butt chin goblin. Dude, Raijin, I think you're haunted. I think you need help, dude. I think you need Jesus. You need a lot of holy water and confession after this. My goodness. He just did it again. He just deflected and redirected. There's always going to be people like him. There's always going to be doubters like your boyfriends who's going to invalidate you, who's not going to acknowledge your suffering, who's going to dismiss you. But it's okay. I'm here to affirm you. I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to support you. Again, I think he's a fraud. That's why he's redirecting all of this. He is pitting them against each other, right? We call that splitting right here. Splitting is a technique some folks do, trying to pit other people against each other to distract them from the main problem, which is them. Here, Raijin is pitting. He's using spitting. He's using splitting. Split them against each other by misdirecting the main problem, which is him. Definitely a fraud. What? Wow. Yeah, right, dude. Wait, he suddenly looks serious. What Raijin's doing is he's controlling and manufacturing his own micro expressions to give off a vote of confidence because he knows he's being watched by a skeptic, Taro, which is the customer's boyfriend. So this is an exorcist performance. This is a performative act. All of us do this, right? We wear a different mask, not out of malice, not trying to be a fraud, but based on different social context and settings, we behave differently at home versus at work. That's also a social masking. That's also performance Again, not in a malice way, but it is a performance nonetheless, because humans, we're social animals. That's what he's doing. But here, there is a profit. All of this is profit driven because he's trying to make money, earn money from the customer. So this is more antisocial and less pro-social than some of the mask and some of the performance we put up at work versus at home. With him, with Raijin, it's a little bit more antisocial, not in a sociopathic sense, but more in a profit-driven sense. He's a great actor, though. Oh shit! Whoa! It's real! Oh yeah, that's right. The world setting actually have spirits. Oh, that's right. So it is real, but not because of whatever Raijin was sensing. He was just absolutely mortified and terrified of cockroaches. But an actual evil spirit appeared. I am dead, yo. So it is him. Salt splash. The evil spirit is coaching Raijin. He's coaching him for free that nice try, but this is just a conventional grocery store bought salt. You have to purify it. Maybe be blessed by a priest or healers or shamans or some sort, but he's getting coached by the spirit he came to by getting paid to exercise. Fraud, bro. Speaking of Mob Psycho 100, this is Froster 100. My gosh. He made this up? Who's this?
いやマジでマジで悪霊いるんだってお客さんと悪霊ももう待ってるから
What is going on? What kind of a comedic setting is this? Oh, here we go. He looks so flat. Emotionless almost. What the heck? Oh, he's the real MC. The question is, how can he be Raijin's student if Raijin himself is a fraud and powerless? Does Mob not know that his master is a ordinary person without power? That makes sense because he's a student, so he's more gullible, I guess. Interesting dynamic. Okay. But I guess the protagonist, the MC, is Mob. That's him. And his name is way too complicated, so I'm just going to refer him to as Mob because I'm also the king of butchering Japanese names. But so far, here's my clinical and behavior observation and behavior analysis. Mob so far seems very facially and emotionally flat. We call that emotional flatness, or clinically speaking, flat affects. Definition: flat affects. Couple possibilities. He's either depressed, so he has a lot of flatness. He's not very facially expressive. That's one of the more common criteria for depression, which is a flat affect. Affect means emotions. Two possibilities. There's a lot of emotional suppression going on. Not just him. When a lot of characters are introduced as such in a flatness, they're either suppressing it or repressing it. And here's the difference between repression and suppression. Definition right here. Emotional suppression is we are knowingly and consciously suppressing our emotions, the trauma, the difficult and uncomfortable aspects of ourselves because we're not ready to confronting it because of limiting circumstances in the struggle. So we suppress it. We shove it deep down into the crevices and the abyss of our hearts, emotions. But we know we're doing it. Eventually, it reaches a limit of thresholds and then the balloon pops. And that balloon popping is a metaphor for emotional bursts, breakdown, crisis, depression, etc. Repression is we are unknowingly segregating, compartmentalizing, and shoving away emotions unknowingly. And that's a repression. We don't know we're doing it, but the impact persists. Here, I don't know what the possibility is, but it is clear that he has a flat facial expression, which symbolizes that he definitely has some sort of a struggle with emotions going on. We'll see, and we'll wait for the show to reveal more. Yeah, rude. It's very over the top. Hold on. How much did he get paid? What is this? Freaking child? Like a swash shop? Dude, first of all, I'm pretty sure this is against the labor law against children. But again, I don't know exactly what grade mob is. But yo, Rajin, you're not only a fraud. Again, not a full fraud, but kind of a fraud. You're also exploiting child labor. Wow, interesting. Is Rajin's not the antagonist, right? He's not the main op, as kids call it nowadays. He's not the main op of the series because he's the mentor of the protagonist. Such an interesting character. But again, on the surface, he's pretty likable too. Anyway, I'm looking forward to analyzing him more. And he's packaging like he's doing him a huge favor. Look at him. Zoom in on the scene I just paused. As Rijin said that, he's sipping tea. His eyes, right? You can tell he has like a more bland look. We call that cognitive dissonance. Definition, cognitive dissonance. Dissonance is the distance between your belief and thoughts and action. There's a gap. There's discrepancies. And cognitive dissonance leads to psychiatric suffering, struggle, guilt, shame, etc., etc. So maybe Rajin feels guilty because he knows he's full of shit. He said all those pretty words just well packaged because he knows he's exploiting Ma. That's why he's sipping tea to cover up his anxiousness and his guilt. Or am I overanalyzing? It was so weak. He's so gullible. That's why I'm teaching you how to control your power so you don't go berserk. Rajin, you're an interesting character. You're dropping some bars and some wisdom randomly, but we've also established that you're kind of a low-key fraud, but you're also dropping bars? Interesting. So does that mean that Rajin knows the terrifying reality and the capacity and the nature, the true psychic capacity of Mob? That's why he's telling him that I'm teaching you how to control yourself so you don't go berserk. And that's interesting. What he also said, by working for me, you get to learn, practice, serve other people through active service. So this is two birds, one stone. Again, I think he's just saying that to sound pretty, right? So he can continue to exploit and use Mob's power and underpay him, right? That's a pretty shitty behavior. But it could also mean that, in a sense, working for Rajin for this spirits and other stuff consulting clinic or consulting firm, it is a meaningful avenue and a meaningful outlet for Mob. Maybe socially, maybe it is a helpful containing method for Mob to deeper his self-understanding, deeper his self-discovery, learning to fine-tune his power. I don't know if he's afraid of his power per se, because the show didn't reveal that. But in that sense, again, I don't know if Rajin actually meant what he said. But assuming that he's not like a malicious, horrible person with some fraud, con artist tendencies, because we cannot be judged by our worst attribute. Because all of us are sinners, per my perspective. Not in the sense that, oh my gosh, but in terms of all of us have broken, unhealthy habits, tendencies. Because we are the combinations of all those that came before us. That's the genetics, but also our experiences. That's the epigenetics, or the nature or nurture, colloquially speaking. But again, whether it was intended or not, maybe working for Raijin is helpful and is healthy for a mob in some meaningful way.
人に向けて超能力が使わないって。
What's their history? Oh, that's a symbol and representation of emotional oppression. He's suppressing his emotion, which is one of the three possibilities I analyzed earlier. That's why he's a flat affect, flat emotional expressions, or emotional flatness, because he's suppressing his emotions. Maybe there is some unknown connections and relationship between his emotional intensity and his psychic outburst or psychic power. So maybe that's why he's trying to suppress his emotions. Not that he doesn't have emotions, not that he has no feelings, but rather he's afraid of feeling his feelings. He's afraid of acknowledging and feeling all of himself because he is aware of his terrifying nature of his power. I know I'm yapping a lot. There's just a lot of possibilities. Omanaisto bomb. Oh, he's so powerful. His parents know, and he can't quite control his power. Okay.
シゲも少しは律を見習いなさいよ。今日も小テストで満点取ったんだから。あんなの誰でもできる。
Aww. Sounds like a great brother.
もう律まで甘やかして。次負けたらシゲのお小遣いで買うからね。
ごめん兄さん。それは僕にもどうにもできないや。こいつは困ったな。シゲよ。
Aww. Even based on that, it's a very lovely family. Sounds like the mom is more of a tiger parent, more authoritative, more strict, more demanding, and the dad is more down to earth. And again, it's not that deep. I'm not here to psychoanalyze his parents based on a 2-minute conversation. It's more that on the surface, the dad is more chill, down to earth. The mom is more strict, more type A. Some personality differences. But yeah, seems like a pretty healthy, secure attachment. Here's the focus though. Think about the progressive, compounding, iterative process of him not feeling safe and completely comfortable and accepted to display his emotions, to release his emotions. And I think in this series, I think psychic power symbolizes emotions, emotional expression. Mob is discouraged from involuntarily and accidentally bending spoons because he's that powerful. I'm guessing that his psychic power is kind of spilling over because he's that powerful. Again, based on the opening sequence and his true terrifying, true capacity at level 100. So that every time he bends spoons accidentally and involuntarily, he gets criticized. His mom discourages, hey, stop crying. Stop venting. Stop displaying your emotions. Shove it inside. Suppress them. Control yourself. That's not what the mom is saying because she's referring to the psychic power, but I think that's the true symbolism. That is the true underlying emotions that the show is trying to reveal to us. And what happens over time? His barometer, his emotional suppression, and his progress towards total psychic explosion that showed earlier, the percentage is going up. So maybe after this dinner, it goes from 22% to 23%, 24%. And again, this reminds me of one of my favorite mental health adages. Depression is the opposite of expression. What we do not express gets depressed over time. In other words, expression, freely, non-judgmentally expressing, is the antidote to depression on level 1. Of course, there's levels. And depression is a cluster of symptoms, and there's different severity and spectrums of that. But on a more general, simple level, it's that we need to first learn to express. Not venting excessively and mindlessly, because when we vent mindlessly, we actually feel more frustrated and we could get even more riled up, more activated. So intentionless and mindless venting is not healthy either. There's a fine balance. But the point is, for a mob, our dear boy protagonist, he needs to learn to express more. Salt Middle School. Yo, salt spray? Is that his crush? To him, everyone else is freaking bell pepper and importance fruit and veggies before the main crush, heavenly beauty. She's literally sparkling. Tsubomi?
はいするとここの
Oh, mob. Algebra 1 or arithmetic.
わからんともう足し算しかの
Huh, does he also suffer from social anxiety, or he just wasn't really paying attention? Or rather, is it possible that he is utilizing and using all of his mental, cognitive, psychological, emotional faculties to suppress his emotions, suppress his thinking, suppress his brain power, because he doesn't want to kaboom, explode. So maybe all of that is not because he's not smart, is not because he fell asleep, is not because he only knows addition, but rather he's using all of his energy to suppress himself, trying to stop the progression of his barometer going up. That's a possibility. Oh no, poor mob. I mean, I don't really know how to justify that. Maybe he's just not athletic.
ああモブ昨日の今日で悪いけどなすぐに駅まで来てくれるか
Another one?
ですか？
ああ今日の仕事はでけえぞ
ああ、わかりました。
Another job that a Ragin is a fraud cannot handle by himself. 25%, I called it after earlier. It's for sure. Okay, here's my theory. Here it is. The less expressive, the less expressive he is, the less he opens up externally, the less he verbalizes and communicates what he's thinking, what he's feeling, the barometer increases. And that's emotional suppression. And that actually, ironically, leads to the explosion because he's not releasing it. He's just pushing everything inside. I think we are witnessing the process and the progress of Mob's psychic balloon eventually popping because of his emotional suppression. This show is really deep. I see why the show won the series, because all my analysis and all my videos are insightful and I guess in-depth psychological analysis, so that makes sense. Anyway, shout out to YouTube family and Patreon folks. Thank you guys.
今回の依頼は地元の自治会からだ場所は旧街道
Going to a tunnel.
に悪い噂は絶える肝試しに来た大学生やらブロガーが行方不明になったって事件が何件も起こってる極めつけはこれだ
集団走行中の事故ですか？
ああ
Damn. Even the weather. Weather is obviously a classic and timeless storytelling technique to portray the internal turmoil, some psychological intensities to come. Even the weather is more ominous. The background music changed. Ragin looks more serious. Of course, Mob is just still equally facially unexpressive and emotionally flat. So Mob doesn't really change. But based on all the other proxy factors, we can tell we're actually probably entering like a peak action scene and probably fighting like an actual big spirit haunted situation. Great writing. Yep, it's windy. Yep. Here's a setup. Foreshadowing of what's to come. Stay on your toes. Yo, Ragin, speak for yourself, my guy. Stay on your toes, you powerless froster.
ここか
Oh.
どれ一丁見てやるか
Right. Sure.
するぞモブ
He's gonna run out. He didn't follow him.
わかりました。余裕に見えたので。
Yo.
いらないのかと。
誰が助演ま余裕だけども勉強
Yo.
トンネル 結構やばそうですよ。
This tunnel seems pretty dangerous. For our MC Mob to actually say that, yo, jackpot. This is an actual heavyweight. Anyway, I love Raging's classic Froster pose with one hand in his pocket, with this oozing overconfidence, almost borderline narcissistic vibe, this aura, except it's empty. It's a facade.
愛をピリピリと感じます。
Yo, okay, here we
心霊スポ
go.
ットってデマ情報も多いじゃないですか。
But this is real.
けど今回は本物でしたね。もし
だから俺たちで除霊するんだろう。
We're going to. Oh my
よし行く
goodness.
ぞ。俺が前を行く。お前は後ろから適当にサポート任せるぞ。
はい。
One last thing. I know I'm yapping a lot. I already yapped for over 15 minutes, and we still have 15 minutes in the show. This is pretty psychological dense. I see. Again, I love this show already. There is a famous fable / proverb in Chinese. And for those who are new to my channel, I speak fluent Chinese. I am a Korean American, but I'm a polyglot. I'm multilingual because I spent 7 years in China. So I know a lot of the Chinese history, culture, and that's also a lot of why a lot of folks watch my Apothecary Diaries reaction in my series because of that cultural and linguistic understanding. Anyway, there is a famous Chinese proverb / fable that there was a boy who walked down the street and every single person who laid their eyes upon that boy were terrified. So that boy mistakenly thought he is very powerful. Here's the punchline. There was a tiger walking behind him. So here's is a boy who is helpless and very fragile and not very powerful walking in front of a tiger. And all of the people that laid their eyes upon the boy, they were not looking at the boy. They saw the tiger and they were afraid. But the boy mistakenly thought it was him who commanded the presence and fear. Why am I saying this fable? This is the dynamic. The teacher, the Raging, is walking in the front, and Mob, the true psychic, is walking behind him. And Mob is that contained tiger, the actual source of the power and fear and the capacity. And Raging, the fraud, is the boy who's actually helpless and powerless. But because of their walking together, one, Raging is taking credits on behalf of Mob's power financially. That's the financial exploitation I talked about earlier. Also emotionally, but also psychologically. Over time, when we're living in such a fake facade, when we are living with such a fake identity, over time, we lie to ourselves. That's the psychology of self-deception. And over time, it becomes a pattern. And we mistaken that elusive pattern as our own. Just like that little boy who mistaken the tiger's power and authority as his own. Anyway, power of caffeine, that's where my brain went.
ひんやり涼しい。
感じませんか？
そういやかなり湿気があるな。
いや、霊気の話ですよ。
The auras. Bro.
何ですか？
They're equally dense.
お前は何か感じるか？
When you get to my level, it does. AKA, when you get to my level, which is level 0, you feel nothing. Because you can't. You're powerless.
感じるなんてもんじゃないですよ。12、18。
18, 20? How many spirits? Oh my goodness. Jackpot. Yo. This is a spirits buffet. I have a feeling that Raging is walking his way straight to the most powerful source. The boss! He is though. Isn't he the boss? Too late. Yo, he just got bigger. Wait, wasn't he the butt-chin goblin from earlier or a different guy? Oh no, this is a spirit. There's a lot of butt-chin goblins here. I'm sorry, my apologies. Woo. Loving these action scenes. Very good. There is a powerful force field. How can this power come from him? Exactly. This is what I said. The little boy in front of that tiger. All the power is from Mob. Before the spirit boss, just like those pedestrians. You see the connection, right? Anyway, let me stop yapping. All right. Let's go. He is a wimp. At least use your purify salt this time. Okay. Didn't do anything. Did you purify the salt? Yo. 2-second delay. Aww. They said they were forced. Who's the culprit? Oh, he's a nice, responsible, and wholesome butt-chin goblin, the leader of his wolf pack. Oh. He's projecting. That's you, my guy. Nice. Despite exercising the boss biker spirit, the source of this ominous, terrifying aura has not disappeared. AKA the source is still there. So this is like a raid. You're starting with like small mobs, a mini boss, and the ultimate raid boss. Uh-oh. Whoa. On their biker gang excursion. Oh. I think it just hit me. I think the tunnel in itself, and tunnels are often like tunnels, caves, waterfalls. Those are usually pretty powerful and archetypical storytelling symbolisms. Here, I think tunnel symbolizes the unknown, the fear, the uncertainty, going deeper into your consciousness. Here, two levels. Level 1, we're going deeper and uncovering the extent and the capacity of mobs, psychic power and capacities. That's level 1. Level 2, we're going deeper into the unknown. We're going deeper away from safety, what's familiar, because familiarity implies pattern, and pattern implies safety because we're used to it. So in that sense, this tunnel represents that, the unknown, the fear, but also further uncovering and reveal of mob's psychic power. Oh, his stance changed. Whoa. Oh shit. It's an actual giant goblin. Oh. Did he just get eaten? Oh. Oh. Where are we at now? Level 30? Still 25? Oh. Vaporized again. He literally just lifted his arms. Hold on, was that it? Hold up. Was that it?
無事だったか。ああ、大した悪霊でもなかったですし。
お前何者なんだ。
Wait, what? Yo, this is like One Punch Man, except it's psychic power stuff. Yo, Mob is unmatched. That was so easy. It's like as a level 100, soloing a level 5 raid boss. Piece of cake.
バカ野郎。お前は霊能界の新星。超霊源あらたかの弟子モブだろうが。
Aww.
これもしかして。
Aww.
総長行きますよ。
この世界
Oh, it's like his emotional closure. Oh. Wow, that was emotional closure. Now they can pass on peacefully because the last remaining transitory object, which is a concept in grief counseling, was found. The spirit of that butt-chin goblin was able to see their group picture for one last time because he was afraid of passing on and transitioning to the afterlife because he was still longing and yearning for his biker gang. And now through that picture, he found peace. Aww. Aww, peaceful transition.
モブ。何
They missed the last bus?
黒部師匠。
Yo.
なんで何もしなかったんですか。
Again. Yo, what is more powerful? Mob's true level 100 unlocked full capacity of psychic release, his psychic power, or his density, his lack of awareness? Might be close. Wow, they're equally impressive. Come on, Mob. He's very trusting and, you know, that's wholesome. Dude, what a cheapskate. Dude, Reagan, whatever your name is, you better give him more money than just a freaking bowl of ramen and 2 limited chashu pork belly. Dude, don't be a cheapskate. That was more than the first exorcism. My last 2 yapping to close out today's wonderful first episode and kickstarting to Mob Psycho 100. Big fan. I'm looking forward to this 100%. Speaking of 100, 2 things. I think Raiden's interesting, as I denoted earlier. He represents this not really malicious, but sort of fraud guy who is exploiting Mob financially by using his psychic power and underpaying him and all that. There's definitely the unhealthy aspect. But in one sense, we could also argue that Raiden acts as an ambivalence attachment. Definition right here. Ambivalence attachments. What that means is the role of his attachments for Mob is unclear. It's ambiguous. So I guess in that sense, also like an ambiguous attachments caregiver type of dynamic. He's not really his full mentor, but he does drop some wisdom and bars, and he does care about Mob. He does take him out. They do spend quality time together. And I think Raiden is maybe teaching Mob like social skills, because Raiden is very socially exceptionally skilled as a fraud, but Mob is not, based on the classroom being called on, etc., etc. So I think they do help each other out, and Raijin, there are benefits to the role of Raijin in Mob's life. So that's one, the ambivalence / ambiguous attachment that he represents. And the last thing is, on surface, I think episode 1 and maybe the series, maybe it disguised as a goofy exorcism comedy. It's very over the top. It's very hilarious. It's like kind of One Punch Man. It's very, very exaggerated, over the top, as I said. But I think deep inside, it's about a boy who's scared of his emotions. It's about a boy who's disconnected from his emotions, all of himself, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And through that disconnection, through this emotional suppression they've analyzed throughout, maybe that's gonna lead to his balloon, metaphorical balloon popping, which is a psychic explosion that the barometer's hinting us at throughout. Again, am I overthinking it by miles, or am I spot on? Is that what the true ethos of this show? Anyway, hey, thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out to my Discord community, YouTube community, Patreon folks for voting and suggesting and winning the series. And again, I hope you guys are enjoying and staying with me and follow me along throughout this series. And I'm very excited for the future content. 86 is coming, right? Avatar, The Last Airbender was also be coming near you in the near future once I wrap up 2 other series. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time. Peace.